Vince Neil, as the lead singer of Motley Crue and as a solo artist in his own right, he's a heavy metal music legend, known for his distinctive voice and for his personification of the rock and roll lifestyle in its most authentic form. He released an album and a book recently. He's here to talk about those and the many facets of his life. Welcome. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
You've accomplished so much in your career. Through a lot of your life, you're still here.
Still here.
And you're doing what you've done best, which is making music. What brought you back to your recording career after a 15-year hiatus?
We were never on a 15-year hiatus.
No, I mean you as a solo artist.
Well, I mean, I've been so busy with Motley Crue. You know, we tour pretty much constantly. Like our tours last for 2 years, then we take a year off, and then tour for another 2 years. And usually in those days, those years off, I have a solo band, so I'll go out and tour that. And so I'm just kind of constantly on the road. And then I kind of had the chance to do a new album, and so it was like kind of that time, you know.
Being back with Crue and all of the things that you do with them, there was the hiatus that you had away from the group. Now, how does it feel? Are things different than they were back then?
No, not really. I mean, we just kind of took a little break from each other for a couple of years, and but you know, we go out there and tour and playing to bigger crowds than we've ever had, and you know, our audience is so diverse now. You know, it's not just the fans that grew up with you. You know, because this is our 30-year anniversary, and but you have 15 and 16-year-olds with Shout the Devil shirts on, and you know, dads with their 5-year-olds on the shoulders, and everything in between. You have a biker standing next to an attorney, you know, and everything else. So it's you know, we've gotten lucky where we've tapped into that next generation.
When I think about some of the literature that's been out there, I think about Neil Strauss, The Dirt.
Yeah.
And you know, even in your book, you never spared any details about not just yourself, but about your bandmates. With your autobiography, what kind of reaction did you get from your bandmates, Tommy and Nikki, about the things that you were putting out there?
They never really brought it up.
Did you ever talk to them about it?
No, you know, because they've all put out books on their own, and they kind of tell it like it is in their books too. You know, I just have certain views of way things are done and different personalities, and then you got to put it out there. You know, and I mean, we're all great friends. You know, we get along great, and we have fun together on the road. But there's, you know, we've been together for 30 years. You know, I've known Tommy for most of my life. You know, we went to high school together. Yeah. You know, so, you know, you're with the same guys for that long. You know, it's like that. Squeezing the toothpaste, you know, from the middle or from the top, you're gonna piss somebody off.
Yeah, and you know, your reputation always precedes you. Part of your persona over the years has been shaped by this kind of rock and roll lifestyle. It's led to a lot of publicity, lots of success in the industry, also even some tragedy.
Oh yeah.
Lots of things have happened over the years. You were convicted of vehicular manslaughter in the mid-1980s.
Yeah.
After a drunk driving incident, there was a guy killed in that. So then you went for 15 days for that to jail. You also struggled with addiction, kicked out of the group. But for all of the success that you've had, do you ever in private moments feel that you regret your lifestyle or the pain that you caused yourself or anyone else?
No, I mean, obviously, what I've tried to do in my life is you try to learn from your mistakes, you know, and obviously I've made mistakes, just like most people have made mistakes in their life. Really? And you just try to learn from those mistakes and better your life. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, you know, but it's, you kind of try your best.
One thing that you wrote in your book that stood out was, we are all very lucky we didn't kill ourselves. Death was never my intent. I just wanted to feel good. I was just looking for that next kick, that next high. These days, I've got businesses to run. I like the action, something to get your heart pumping, healthier than a syringe full of cocaine powder. Do you really mean that? Does business excite you that much? And have you been able to find a better place in that sense with business?
It's a lot of fun. It's almost like making an album. You know, you start with an idea and you build on it, and then when it's done, you can stand back and go, wow, look what I just made. You know, so like doing a tattoo shop or the nightclub, you know, it's nice to have have the idea and then actually see it come together. You know, it's really exciting, and to go there and see that other people are enjoying it just as much as you are. It's an adrenaline rush.
It's very hard to establish that kind of longevity in the music business these days, the longevity that you've been able to see and allow yourself to capitalize and have other ancillary revenues that you bring in off of the Vince Neil franchise. What is the enduring quality, do you think, that brings back all of your fans and adds more people about Motley Crue?
Well, I mean, for the older fans, it's they've seen us a million times, and we're a band that, you know, we have great songs, but we put on a great show. You know, we'll spend that extra money, you know, and I really sing, and Mick's really playing the guitar. It's not, you know, it's not taped like a lot of bands go out there and lip sync and, you know, and play to tracks, you know, which is, I think, is a big ripoff for the fans. But for the new fans, I think it's kind of the, the allure. We're just, we're one of those bands that people have always liked to talk about and always have good stories about, but it always comes back to the live show, you know, where we have always given, it's like, you pay a lot of money for a ticket price, you know, to go to concerts. And instead of putting it in our pockets, we want you to walk away from our concert and go, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. You know, and that brings back the older fans and brings in the new fans.
Do you think that rock and roll is in a place where there could be another global sensation like a Motley Crue in the given the current framework and the current state of the industry?
I think it's going to be tough. You know, I think it's tougher now to make it in rock and roll than it was, back in the, like when we did it back in the early '80s. Because back then, 1981, when we started out, is when MTV started, and when MTV actually, played music. And there's so many different outlets that, you had one, that everybody watched. Now there's like 1,000 internet sites with music, and I think you get lost, as a new band.
Okay, well, you've continued to stay on top, Vince Neil. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.